Welcome to This Explainer. Imagine for a second an entire civilization where poetry wasn't just, some elite art form, but literally the bedrock of their whole identity. Just listen to this ancient Tamil verse. Like the inner sap of a tree, love is hidden within. Wow, right? Today, we're diving deep into the Sangam Era. This is a truly remarkable literary golden age that flourished right at the southern tip of the Indian subcontinent, spanning all the way from around 300 BCE to 300 CE. Okay, let's take a look at this beautifully translated phrasing on screen. It's kings, it's warriors, it's lovers, it's fishermen, it's mountains, and it's seas. I mean, that perfectly captures the heart and soul of ancient Tamil society, doesn't it? Their literature didn't just obsess over the elite, no, they uniquely categorized all of life into 5 distinct landscapes, known as the Tanai. We've got the Kurinji Mountains, the Mulai forests, the maritime farmlands, the Natal coasts, and the arid Palai regions. By framing their stories around these specific landscapes, we get this incredibly complete, breathing picture of everyone's daily lives, from the grand halls of kings down to the intimate moments of lovers and the grueling daily routines of ordinary farmers, warriors, and fishermen. So, how are we going to tackle this massive topic? Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with a golden classical age, move on to the 3 great dynasties, check out the legendary academics, and wrap up with the surviving heritage.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, a golden classical age.
As you can clearly see here, we're looking at a massive 600-year span, running chronologically from 300 BCE to 300 CE. To put that into perspective for a second, while the Roman Republic was busy expanding into a massive empire and the Han Dynasty was ruling over China, the southern tip of India was experiencing its own booming, highly organized flourishing of the literary arts and urban development. It's a remarkably early peak for classical literature, and it really set a cultural foundation that has survived for millennia. Moving right along, let's hit section 2, the 3 great dynasties. Now, what's really fascinating here is how these 3 distinct, powerful kingdoms, the Cheras, the Cholas, and the Pandyas, actually united when it came to their patronage of the arts. Make no mistake, these guys were often fierce rivals, but their immense wealth allowed them to act as the ultimate protectors of poets and scholars. And where did that wealth come from? Bustling maritime trade. They were exchanging valuable goods at thriving seaports with Roman and Greek merchants. Without that massive influx of oceanic trade boosting their economies, this whole literary golden age, it probably wouldn't have been possible.
That brings us to section 3, the legendary academies.
The very word Sangam actually refers to these grand assemblies or academies of poets whose primary job was to preserve this incredibly rich literary heritage. Tradition tells us there were 3 of these massive gatherings. The first 2, they're said to have lasted for thousands of years, operating on this mythic, almost unimaginable scale, involving gods and legendary sages. But by the time we reach the 3rd Sangam, that myth smoothly transitions into concrete, verifiable historical reality.
And that historical reality is the 3rd Sangam, located right at Madurai. This specific academy produced the extraordinary texts that miraculously survive for us to read today. Plus, recent archaeological digs at ancient cities like Kiladi and Arakamedu are backing this up beautifully. We're finding evidence of incredibly advanced urban planning, intricate terracotta pottery, and just exquisitely detailed excavated jewelry. It's absolute proof of just how materially sophisticated the society that wrote these beautiful poems actually was.
Finally, let's explore section 4, the surviving heritage. Before we even get to reading the poetry itself, we absolutely have to appreciate the foundational genius of the language. And that is all laid out in the Tolkappiyam. This is the oldest surviving grammar of the Tamil language, and it is totally central to understanding their world. But here's the crazy part. It doesn't just dictate basic syntax. It literally codifies the rules of human emotion and how they tie into physical landscapes. Producing a text this rigorous, it shows staggering intellectual sophistication. They weren't just randomly writing poems, they were meticulously structuring exactly how to express their reality. And working within those brilliant structural rules, they produced some absolute masterpieces. The surviving heritage we have today is mostly grouped into 2 monumental collections, the 8 Synthology, which is the 8 anthologies, and the Patu Patu, the 10 idyls.
These thousands of surviving poems literally form the enduring bedrock of Tamil identity. Inside these works, we find these deeply relatable human stories of ancient lovers, brave warriors, and everyday folks that still resonate so beautifully with us today.
So we've explored the timeline, the wealthy dynasties, and the incredible surviving texts, but I really want to leave you with a final, kind of provocative thought here. We are completely in awe of these thousands of poems and the sheer brilliance of the Tolkappiyam. Yet, remember, all of this came from just the third Sangam. If that one academy alone produced such staggering depth, we can only imagine what untold literary masterpieces were lost to the sea and to time in those first two legendary academies. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and remember to always keep questioning what else history might be hiding from us.